October 8th at 6:35, we'll call the finance meeting to order. Michelle, Bob, Jason, Tim, Sam, and William are here. Guess first, have you guys all had a chance to look at the meeting minutes from all in favor, say aye?
Aye.
And I wasn't here, so I need to set out of this, so we need to sign those. Let's see, cash journal. Summary fund. This cash journal. Go back down to just the shut-off reports. So when the cash receipts, Penny, that was just, it wasn't assigned to the right owner for the
Correct.
person?
We didn't shut the old owner off and turn the new owner on, so we just had to move this.
Okay. Um, I don't have the NSF report, unless I'm missing it here somewhere.
I made a print. I did, I forgot to print it. It might be me shuffling papers.
Bank reconciliation is, says bank errors, deflating bank errors, 282.25. So it looks like you had a return check for 65.89 of that, and the other part was a credit card payment didn't go through until
It went through the
sometime
end
in
of the
December.
month. Yeah, it went through at the end of the month.
So
It went
that
to the
was
next month, and we put the payment through. so-
216.36.
Yes.
So that's the 282.25.
Correct.
Prestige. Need attendance.
I think that was the only thing that was different this month, was we did do those 3 checks. Me. I'm gonna do it. Okay.
So what was the, it, let's see here.
The 65, that's the check from,
IOOF.
That's the one where
she mailed it Monday, so we should be getting it anytime.
Okay. Anything else outstanding? Road looks off.
Yeah.
How it
I think it's a
affected-
lot, I think it's less.
Yeah.
Even with the price increase, it's still less than what we were paying last year.
Payment list.
Yeah, so for,
Appropriation. Does anybody have anything for the revenue status, the cash journal, the ledger,
So
cash fund center?
our account status for funds, we have a negative balance for Walnut Creek Sewer District. How do we have a negative balance?
That's because of that $1,700. I haven't posted the deposit yet,
Okay,
so I haven't put that side of it, that's why it's a negative. I was gonna do
so
that.
how did it let you pay cash out if there was no money in the account?
There's money in the account, it wouldn't,
No,
oh,
no, this is your fund, this is your
oh,
cash.
I haven't, that's,
So there's $1,500 spent more, It's
that was
overdrawn.
1730 that I paid out,
okay, and that's from the school payment, right?
yes.
Okay,
And that check was delivered to the sewer district,
the one from Pleasantville?
correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, delivered, mailed,
No, I give it to him to give to them.
okay,
So
all right.
I had him hang out and I hurry up
Yeah,
and ran this.
I know that's
over.
not what they wanted, but because you guys, Walnut Creek wasn't set up as a vendor, they chose to go that route, which,
Oh, it's
Yeah.
1,700 to 1,700.
I didn't think would be a problem, so we agreed to it. Without
Yes.
going back to Walnut Creek, we just figured that's just one less
It
bump.
worked out fine.
All right. All right, so that right there, we'll bring that back to a positive balance.
Yes,
which
once I
makes-
do the deposit and
Okay.
add everything, yes. I don't have it myself.
Anything else for those? Let's see here. No business, new business is the resolution 1208-2201. That's adding the funds for the current year. 122201. So that's resolution. That goes with this one. Adding in $3,100 to the general fund. It's in the clerk salary, general fund. It's the OPERS, that's 434. General fund, supplies and material, that's $1,010. General fund, other professional technical services, that's $3,889. It's for the flagpole and wells. Out of the general, for natural gas, there's $200. General for salary is $2,700. OPERS for that's $378. Out of the medical, or out of the general, you have the medical, that's $40. Out of the street fund, there's medical coming out, or going into it, and that's $31. Street fund for salaries, $1,700. Street fund OPERS, $268. Street funds says $700, but it doesn't have what it's for, Penny.
Is it a street fund?
It's a street fund, it just says 700. It's 2011-640-420-0004.
004, that's supplies.
That's supplies.
Mhm.
Okay. Should we write that in on there?
Yeah, if you wanna go ahead and pencil that in.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And then out of the water fund, OPERS, $842. Out of the water fund is salary of $5,300. Water fund for the medical portion is $77. And then we have the Walnut Creek sewer payment. It says of another pole, $17,730.72.
16 in.
So we'll have to get that approved during council. So that
In the
was
back sheet that's hooked to that resolution, that just proves what's in UAN is
that
what,
has the comparison.
yes, which is what, they're wanting me, I do it just as a double
Every time
check.
I turn it.
And then once it comes back from the county, then I also make sure that we all have the same totals.
So that was the resolution. Then we have ordinance number 12-08-22-01. an ordinance establishing appropriations budget for the fiscal year 2023, ending in December 31st of 2023. And the declaration of emergency. So these were supposed to be put in when? We've already turned one in, right? We're just redoing it?
No, next year. So without this, Penny, January 1st, Penny can't even pay payroll or anything.
So that's why they're declaring it an emergency one?
We always declare it an emergency because we never do the 3 readings on this, because we'd have to start back in October.
So in the general funds for appropriations, it's $200,425. Parks and Recreation is $54,710. Police fund is $23,425. Permissive motor vehicle funds, $9,000. Water operating funds, $163,500. Water and sewer deposit fund is $3,000. Unclaimed monies is $1,000. Walnut Creek Sewer, $19.78.
I have the budget, the backup, pulled up on the screen behind you. We went over this, or I emailed this out to everyone, just for awareness, like nothing really major changed. Park and Rec, because I believe it has passed, if not it will pass. Minimum wage is going up, sorry, let me get to the right. So that impacts our pool. So minimum wage, I think, is going to be $10.10 for 2023. I went ahead and spoke to local pools for next year, what they're gonna be paying. They're all gonna be paying starting at $11 an hour. Minimum wage did go up, and since Baltimore, Bremen, and Lancaster are gonna be paying, starting at $11 an hour, I went ahead and figured that into the budget, because to remain competitive, to get good guards, we're gonna have to do, in my opinion, we're gonna have to do the same.
I don't remember what we paid this year.
Last year, we paid $9.80, so this is our 2022 rate, and then this right here is our 2023 rate. And then typically, for every guard that comes back, they usually get a quarter raise, but because we've had to do these increases, it's been more than a quarter, because of the minimum wage going up, we haven't had to do that. But I think that right there was really the only main thing that I think is significant that really increased. Everything else is just normal increases based on our numbers. And again, just, you know, for a review, when we look at our forecast going through year after year that we've been tracking, you know, each year we're doing better. This is the water account. So you can see in 2016, we were in the hole of $31,000, which means the general fund was picking up that dollar amount, and we're slowly getting up there. Where in 2022, we were able to carry over 61,000. 2022, we only had a 7,000, but we've done a lot of improvements out there, or that would have been higher. And then this year, we're on track of, I think, about $40,000 or $50,000 of carryover, because our cash balance in that account is about a little bit over $100,000. Which, again, it was in the negative just, 5 years ago. But this is typical through most all of our accounts, other than the Park and Recs. Just, it is what it is. We lose money on that one. This is the general fund that but we have good years and bad years, but usually anytime you see a negative, that's because of large grant work, things like that, where we had to pay out a large outlay of cash, so.
Mayor, how does a pool do annually?
We have to rephrase that question. So, overall, if you just look at the pool by itself, it's in the hole every year.
Right.
We feel it's a good year if it's less than $15,000 in the hole. And over the past few years, it has been, either way each year. So right now, it's holding its own, but, it's not,
And
Nothing.
essentially, yeah, every local government that's got a pool experiences the same thing.
Yes.
It's not unique to Leavenworth at all.
No. 8 years ago, the pool was $30,000 in a hole within a season, so we've cut that in half. And we've done a lot of improvements, done a lot of investment on that property, so, one thing, we added that chlorine,
Automated system.
pump. And on the chlorine, that saved us a couple $1,000s on chlorine in its first year. So it's gonna pay for itself within 3 years.
Thank you.
Mhm. But that's it, unless you guys have other questions about the budget that you wanna go into. And then just for awareness, like I always do, I go ahead and calculate the new 2023 rates. And I put in for our standard 3%, which is common inflation, but that's not common, so I don't know if you guys want, this is something we have to discuss up until April. Our budget numbers is based on a 3% increase for common inflation, but this year it's about 7.5%, 8%, so I don't know if you guys wanna take a look at those numbers or what.
Anything else for new business?
Nope.
Penny?
I don't believe so. I don't think so.
We're gonna be done quick.
I'll make them adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Browns in the cup, but then it canceled halfway through and said something about I put the thing down too slow, or I put it down too fast, or I don't know. And so then I tried it again, cause the K-Cup, you can get a couple cups out of it, so I was like, try it again, and it wouldn't even restart, so then I tried to restart the whole thing, and then, I finally just gave up.
It's time for a new call.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, cause I'll be truthful, I don't know if it was my error or what, but it's also put some grounds in their coffee.
We've been having this intermittent, what you just described as an
Yeah.
intermittent issue that we have been having. We've
With the
actually-
grounds in it too?
Yeah.
Yeah, cause I wouldn't wanna have to do that all the time, the guys probably, that's not delightful.
Yeah. Cause we've kicked around the idea of going out and buying another one.
Yeah, I think definitely it's time. Cause mine at home, I carry it home pretty old, it doesn't have all those, so yeah, it's probably time.
I think that one was a used Keurig, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's probably got enough of those extra points from Menards, they could probably buy a pretty nice one.
Yeah.
I think it says 15.
But I'm sure they probably have, their eye
That's
on
when we
something.
did it wrong. That's
Probably.
when we did it the last time. Yeah. All right, we found it here. Yeah, you did. Okay. Uh-huh. That's what's gonna pay.
Why did you check all this stuff? That's fine, I'll just plug it in.
You had it a while back.
I'll just change that.
No take backs. I think this was the one thing that was on the last one that we, I don't know what happened.
Is it a decrease?
On that, I said no take backs.
That's when she said no take backs.
I didn't hear that part.
Take it once you give it.
Yeah, that's better.
I think that was why we were off the last time, maybe.
It's up there.
Yes,
And then it got increased.
yeah,
And we didn't,
and then we didn't add any.
means we gotta cut $3,000 out of someone else's salary.
Got it.
What are you looking at me for? Don't even.
Can't take mine, I'll get that
I
back.
was saying, Bob, you're a different line item, so it doesn't matter.
Gil not coming tonight?
No, his grandson passed away. I'm not sure if council knows.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, it is 7 PM on December 8th, 2022. If we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
One nation, indivisible, with
Can we have roll call, please?
Mayor Henderson,
Present.
President West,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dumont,
Yes.
Councilman Mason, Councilman Muncy,
Here.
Councilman Payborn,
Here.
Councilman Williams.
And we have 4 council members of the 6, so we do have a quorum. The approval of the regular meeting minutes from November 10th, 2022. If everyone has had a chance to review those. Any questions? If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
Holt,
Yes.
Councilman Mason, Councilman Muncy,
Yes.
Councilman Payborn,
Yes.
Councilman Williams.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to business of guest. Mr. Vance, you're up.
Mayor, we only have one business item this evening that's on the agenda. It's the revised mitigation resolution for Fairfield County.
Okay.
And I welcome any questions. I guess we'll wait till we get that.
Okay. All right, any questions for Bill before we move on? If not, I open up the floor to anyone from the public.
Me.
Yeah. And I'm sorry,
I'm Melissa Connor,
mhm,
and I do not live in the village.
Okay.
I live outside the village on Cattail Road, about 3 miles
Mhm.
from here. And I wanted to come here tonight to be sure that you are all aware of a lease signed for a field that butts up to the village of Pleasantville.
mhm,
And I just want to make sure that you know about that.
yes.
There is a group of, are a group of us who are calling ourselves citizens for the community. We have a Facebook page and a website and about what is being planned. We are not opposed to solar energy, but we are in favor of preserving prime farmland. So, about it. I wanted to make you aware so that maybe you might come to our website and learn more about it, because it will no doubt affect the village of Pleasantville.
Yep, we appreciate that. So we hope that we're being proactive with this. Again, this is not the board that will decide what can or cannot happen. However, our wells are in that area.
Right.
We are working with Fairfield County soil and drainage, soil and water, Mr. Furbrush, and making sure that we have the right studies and the right information. I've already talked to the solar company and the representatives. Our focus from a village standpoint will be to protect our wells and our watershed.
Right.
Because as you're aware, it's a pretty good aquifer under there. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of long-term studies on a lot of this stuff, because this is relatively new within the 10, 15-year time span, so there's no long-term. But, with Jonathan's help, I think we'll be able to understand it more, be able to understand where we need to focus our energy to be for or against something. And then also actually had a couple meetings with Gen X ourselves,
Sure.
just to discuss things and things like that. We are encouraging them to do more PR, or not PR, but public awareness and education through the third party.
Right.
Because again, I think there's a lot of people that don't understand one way or the other, including myself,
Right.
and we just need the information to be able to make a good decision.
Right.
And I'm sure as you're aware, it's still not even in the stages to where decisions are being made. They are, setting up the leases and all that, but it's still not at the state level for them to even consider,
Right.
so.
Right. If you wanted to just stay in that part of the loop,
Mhm.
that would probably be wise. Neutral stance on the issue, and I'm making arrangements for their policy, their energy director.
Mhm.
He's been here. He was at the fairgrounds back in the summertime and just addressed anybody who wanted to come.
Mhm.
He also came to the County Farm Bureau annual meeting,
Mhm.
and I heard him speak at both of those. I think he's a good resource because of their neutrality, and he has a vested interest or, is doing it to make a living.
Yes.
So, if I might, these are a little crumpled from being at the bottom of my bag, so I apologize for that, but it does have some basic information on it, even though it's not terribly easy to read.
Not a
But
problem. And do you guys do any open houses or public type things?
We will be doing a public meeting
Mhm.
when the Farm Bureau representative will be coming.
Okay.
And my concern personally is that I'm a neighbor of this development that's
Mhm.
being planned. My concern is that my neighbors signed these leases in 2019. And first I heard it as a rumor, and it was kind of like, nah, that doesn't make sense. And then the next thing I knew, I was hearing it a second time. So I went to my neighbor who had signed a lease and said, tell me this isn't true. I can't imagine you did this. And he verified that it was.
Mhm.
And then he went on to tell me things that the company had promised him that since the company has told me is not exactly true.
Mhm.
They, everything that they have put into the field, and then they told me, the representative actually here at the Pleasantville Festival, mentioned him about it, he said they will remove everything that is above ground. There's a big difference.
Mhm.
Now, you're leaving potentially bottoms of posts, and I asked them how many posts there would be, say like, how many feet apart or how many per acre. He is not committed to that. And there's cable that runs
Mhm.
all the lengths of these. So the landowners potentially are left with having to get rid of this debris. So these are things that I just want to be sure everybody's being up and up.
Like I said, we're trying to educate ourselves through this process.
Yes.
I have not found any long-term studies out there that really answers our questions.
Right.
And depending on what website you have, depending on their agenda, gives you a different answer.
Sure.
So, it's weeding through the muck. If you guys do hold a public meeting and need a space, because we did offer this not to GeneX, but to that third party that's that neutral thing.
Uh-huh.
If you guys are a neutral party giving that, we did offer our community center free of charge that has an auditorium in it. So again, as long as it's a neutral conversation, as
Yes.
what the other party is, you guys are more than welcome to use that no charge. Because again, I want to make sure that people in this area are getting educated,
Right.
and it is not one-sided one way or the other.
Exactly.
And I think council has kind of agreed with us on that.
Sure.
Because again, it's going to help us, and
Right.
it does directly impact our aquifer.
Yes. Well, I think it's important that, and this is why I'm taking such as, secondly, if I'm not getting a straight answer, then I'm not gonna, we're simple folks in a simple little town. And we like people to be very forthright and be able to look us in the eye and tell us exactly what's gonna happen. When somebody's skirting around the answer, it makes me very suspicious. If you can answer my questions and it's all wonderful, terrific, I don't have a problem with that. But when I feel like there's maybe more to the story, I want everybody to get together and let's figure out what the questions are so that we can ask the right questions of the right people to get the real answer. So obviously, working with Soil and Water is a good way to do that. Anything that we can do to make sure that we all are educated before it happens. So,
Totally agree.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. And thank you for coming and sharing the information. And if you guys do need something, contact Direct or not. So
Exactly.
we might as well try to be as much invested in it as we can. GeneX is good to this area right now as a business.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, that's not how we make our decisions.
Right.
So it's, and we've expressed that to them, like, by all means, we'll let you come do your things because it's education, as long as it's education.
Thank you for your time very much. I apologize for just bouncing in here.
No, no,
without-
you're fine.
I
We
just-
appreciate it.
I sat down and I said, okay, we need to do this meeting.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go to their meetings and just make sure that everybody's in the loop.
Yeah, because I'm with you. There's a lot of people that don't know this is going on.
Right.
Or they only know because someone has a strong opinion one way or the other, and then facts get
Right,
shifted.
right.
So, they're
Yes.
beside Sandy Voorhees.
Yeah.
And it was approved, so if they want to get the foundation in, is what Ken told us, so.
Okay. All right, anything else for zoning property maintenance?
No, just you and I are gonna have to get together about
Yeah.
our discussion.
I figured after the first of the year. Records, rules, and law?
Oh, sorry, I went on. I thought didn't move on. Just basically waiting on, I think you were gonna have the girls review the.
Yes, and I did not get that emailed out yet, so,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's all there is, we're just waiting on that.
okay. All right, recreation, community center and pool. Realistically, the only thing open right now is for the Santa Claus this Saturday from noon to 2, the parade at 11:30. Parade will start at Audi Park, come down Main Street to Academy Street, turn left on Academy, then left on Lincoln, then,
Then, you know, we don't, maybe list door. That's something we had in the safety meeting,
Yep.
that we talked about, was that, think about a plan B.
yeah. Because it's not even ready to go to the state yet, it's like, it's mumbled jumble the way they explained to
I
me.
get that.
but-
All I'm saying is, you know, the sooner we know, the sooner we have a
Mhm.
plan B, the better off we'll be. Because if we can't stop them, they
Mhm.
come in and there is gonna be something happen, or we need to go do something.
Yeah. Talking to Jonathan Furbrush at Soil, Water and Soil, I think he needs to come to one of your meetings, because he did suggest that we basically take an inventory of what our dangers are, and then make sure that when it does get to the state, if it makes it that far, that when they do I can't remember the formal name of the document, but basically it's a contract that allows them to do it, that we petition to have it added that they protect our aquifer and what that means by protection. They protect our wellheads, what that means. They protect our Walnut Creek not our Walnut Creek
You know, I said, a plan B is what we do.
Yeah, yeah, and,
I mean, I don't know what we do. but-
yeah. And the bad thing is, the Plan B, I think, should be more localized, not just Pleasantville, because the aquifer, if I remember right, it feeds Millersport, Baltimore, Pleasantville.
Is it a
It-
river?
It's a huge
or-
rock farm,
Yeah.
it goes all the way up to the lake.
Yeah,
Is it a river or a?
it's an underground lake.
Yeah.
Yes, so I think if all villages, when it comes to talking about the aquifer, that we do it together, that way Pleasantville isn't saying, I want this done, Millersport says, I want that done.
Right, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So, you know, once we get our ducks in a row, I think we need to have that conversation with those other villages that are impacted by the aquifer, and Jonathan will know who pulls from that aquifer besides us, but I think it's Baltimore and Millersport and Thurston. Yeah.
How deep's our well?
Just 75.
Yeah.
You can go out and pull where well hose at, and you can see water 10 foot down.
Yeah,
Yeah, but our wells are actually 175 is the new one. The older one is 160, and the other one that's the number 3. Yeah, one is 160, and the other one is 170 also.
So what's the concern, like, because they're gonna dig and
takes-
plant them into the ground, they're
Takes
gonna
they'll
disturb
they'll
the.
plant them on foundation.
I would say one of the
And they
major
have to
concerns.
Yeah, it'd be like a
would be
concrete-
storage of batteries.
yeah,
Pillar, for instance, they would put in the ground and mount it on. I think the biggest concern would be any type of chemicals that may leach out into the ground,
mhm,
okay?
Yeah.
Now, we know the aquifer's gotta be lower than 100 feet, okay, we'll say. But yeah, water raises, water floats, okay, it'll come up. You can probably go out here and dig a hole and it'll be filled up, and I'm not, cause it's raining, but because
No.
the water will fill up.
we have a very high water table.
Okay, so whatever leaches in does have a possibility of not, I wanna use the word, I don't know what the word is, all those. I think that's an issue we need to, you know, we need to.
'Cause
So what chemical, I'm sorry, I'm just.
Well, we
You
don't-
got, you,
Yeah,
oh,
It's just
okay,
that we don't
okay.
know.
we don't know,
That's
so,
what we
with
want.
the-
Take, for instance, whatever they mount these things on,
Yeah.
galvanized can leach off of it and
Right,
onto the
zinc
ground. But
galvanized.
how much?
If they leave it there, they may
Yeah.
just dig a hole and put the concrete plug in.
Solar
We do a
panels
lot, we
connect
do a
to
lot of light
batteries.
poles like that at work, we just dig a hole and put concrete in.
Are
the
they
hole.
batteries?
Yeah, solar panels connect to batteries.
Yes.
The battery's what feeds in, or they convert DC to AC power.
Exactly.
So we don't know if they store the batteries on site, or if they're,
Exactly.
Somewhere else.
And then if they don't, then you know it's gonna be close by,
yeah.
because
Staying here,
the
the
energy.
energy, yeah.
well,
She said that it's not even going to, she says the project being planned for, it's,
so.
it says the Mid-Atlantic states such as New Jersey and Maryland will be the recipients of the power generated in Fairfield County.
So,
Okay, well, that
And
has to
Ohio
go across the
benefits.
lines, I mean,
yeah,
you work for AP, right? Yeah, it has to go across the lines, I mean, it all goes all across the
I,
same
I
wires.
have to be kind of
Yeah.
quiet about
Yeah.
things.
No,
I can't-
I
I
totally
can't
know.
jeopardize-
All I'm saying,
What I
it-
do too, I have to be
Then
careful,
That's
but-
exactly, I mean, it just goes across the same wires, I mean, hell, you could look at
Oh, okay,
power.
so.
So,
There's
so
only so many
But how would
wires.
they-
so,
in
So
our,
I'm not
in
asking
our
you,
area,
but
we
how
have
would they
PJ.
They don't have
Is
a
it
lot
that
to do with money,
far?
I have no idea.
so,
I'm just saying, if you can't go very far with it, one of the statements is batteries.
That's how the
to
world
where-
Well, not that they move the
So they're
batteries,
basically then going to ship it.
no.
Well, no,
No?
it's
So-
pushed across the wires.
It's, what's gonna happen is, they'll have a solar field, and it'll be, let's just say it goes
I'm just
to,
like, that's a long way to push it across the
but
wire.
it's
is
not.
what I would-
And that's
I think it
why
works exactly
every,
like that. I think it's all has to do with just numbers.
It's called interconnection rights.
yeah,
So around here, we're in the PJM area. So PJM covers multiple states.
mhm.
And you basically bring the power into PJM, they forecast them and everything, and then they put them out. But what it is, if you boost it here, that means they can put more there, depending who's trying to get it.
Gotcha, so.
So you'll have-
We may be actually using it here, but
Most-
the energy we would have been using here will probably
Yeah.
be able to be boosted the other way.
There's many parts to this. You'll have the developer, the person that's out here.
Figure out when I read what she read and then I'm hearing what you guys are saying, I'm just trying to.
People that are neutral, so that they're an educator, and then like, they just done a simple thing that way, like, I can understand it. So they harvest the energy wherever. Then it goes into like a building per se, where your batteries are.
Right.
And that could be on-site, off-site, but again, it can't be far, because it's DC power. And then that's transferred over. It's going directly into the lines above our head.
Okay.
Okay, it's not,
So it's
There's not a
really
special
not
line.
I just felt like what I read here
Yeah.
was like, it's,
yes,
Yeah, they can't
Unit
put it in a
somewhere.
bucket.
yeah, energy's coming from. Again, that's the simple, like, the JSON version to make you understand, yeah.
it makes-
A website, and I'm like, wait a minute, how can you ship
yeah.
energy? Like, you can't ship energy. And that's like, here's the, well, yeah. But again, like, the way it sound,
reads,
it's like,
it's-
it will never hit here.
Well,
It's,
they're gonna charge the batteries up here and truck the batteries. to
yeah,
New Jersey.
well,
That this-
Well, and that's all I was thinking,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm hearing
You
states
know,
away.
who
I'm like,
knows?
okay.
Look, I've been working on it in your house, I
Yeah.
don't know anything else.
but that's why it's good,
I know
because
it's invisible and you can kick.
there is a third-party group that's all about education. I've went to one of their meetings, they've done 3, I've invited them to come here, and they want to do one here next year. And again, if they're, again, neutral parties, that's about education, because again, I don't know everything.
Right.
And it's nice to hear from not just one neutral party, multiple neutral parties, because again, there's always bias in everything.
I think it's something that we should entertain. Well, maybe she needs to come do that.
Yeah,
Here, and somehow get people involved.
Yeah.
How you do? Go door to door and ask folks, hey, look, you know, this is what's gonna happen, y'all wanna come look and see what's going on?
yeah.
I mean, should we do that?
I don't,
Group, just split up here, you get this part of town, you get this part of town, you get this part
so
of town.
we
let's
have to,
go.
the village has to remain
You wouldn't want me
neutral.
talking to anybody
Yeah.
about it, 'cause I don't know anything.
Yeah, as far as the village thing, we don't have a say, so we are neutral on this, other than how it would impact us directly. So we do have to kind of be,
Therefore, we're not neutral.
when it comes to the harvesting of the energy, the leasing and all that, we don't have a horse in the race. We have to be neutral on that.
Right, but we have
But-
something to say because it is our water we're drinking.
Yes, when it comes to that, we are allowed to have an opinion to provide. But that's one piece of a 1,000-piece puzzle.
I get that, but I guess what it boils down to, I think one of our priorities should be the safety of the town, and the safety
Yes.
of our drinking water is one of the priorities, is safety.
Yes,
Okay, without it, then you got diseases and everything
Yes.
else. It's something we really need to explore more than just saying, hey, let's do this.
yes.
We need to do it.
No, I agree. It's just, we can't be the ones,
I think he's saying like, she can have the meeting.
Yes, but we can't go out and-
Right, I
Yeah.
get that, but we need to put it out there, hey, start flying the flag, folks, come on over and let's.
oh, no, we can advertise for them. They share a flyer with us, we can put it on our social media
Okay,
page.
yeah, but
Things
we
like
need
that,
to
but-
invite others to do the same.
Yes, everyone else needs to be doing the same, but we as a village shouldn't hold a meeting to educate people, because that's not our horse in the race. Does that make sense? I know where you're
Not at
coming
all.
from. So, in this big process, it's about property rights, which we don't have a say in.
Okay.
It's about,
All right, so, here's how I see it. The man's free to do what he wants with his stuff. He owns it.
Yes.
It's his,
yes,
okay? I get that, and I 100% back that.
Mhm.
And he has freedom to do whatever he wants to with his land until it harms somebody else.
yes,
If doing this to that land harms this village, then he's doing harm to somebody else, and it has to be stopped.
Not disagreeing with any of that. We as a village have to be careful so we don't get ourselves in trouble is all I'm saying. As a village as a whole. You as a
Well,
person
we
could
have to
go,
watch out.
if something happens to the aquifer, I agree with you. That's one of our liabilities, so we do. But like, the big conversation, we gotta be very careful about how we,
Maybe we should do something, try to do something. I mean,
that's the reason why I'm inviting these other people.
yeah,
And if,
Put it out there, hey,
Yeah.
y'all, let's have a talk.
and if Fairfield County Soil and Water, the not VOAG, but the
Well,
Ag
when she
District.
has everything, let's try to set up some type of debate or something.
I would.
No, well, I'm not-
I would suggest, go to their website,
Mhm,
look what else happening with it,
mhm.
because this isn't just gonna happen at our level.
Yeah.
No, it's
You know,
not.
the county, the state are all gonna have EPA, they're gonna have all kinds
Yeah.
of regulations these guys have to have.
Yeah.
Or that you see, those things should start being addressed there. Because they just can't come out there and start building without doing some type of assessment of the area they're doing.
Right. they have
And there's
to
gonna
do
be all
something.
kinds of things, there's gonna be surveys, there's gonna be geotechnical things, which is, you're
Mhm.
gonna get into where the water table is,
Mhm.
what kind of dirt and everything it is. There's gonna be a whole bunch of this that's taking place.
Mhm.
So when they get this, they're gonna take it to the commission for Ohio, or I'm assuming it's gonna be
Mhm.
Ohio. So when they do that, they're gonna tear this thing apart. I mean, they will, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it like this? But some of those are actually public, and if they put them out on the web, you can sit in and watch those things take place. They give depositions of everything that's being questioned on this. Or that's what I've seen on other
Yeah.
type.
And that's the way it's from the county and state leaders. That's,
Definitely could put the list of your concerns
Mhm.
together, like when Jason was talking that he can go and make our concerns heard. We
Yeah.
definitely
Right.
should.
and that's what we
I
need.
I
definitely
have private
think-
concerns, I live here, I own a home.
Yeah.
Lot paid for, it's mine.
Mhm.
And that way, when they do, when you make the contract or whatever, it's all considered.
Yeah.
And we probably all do want to add those because in case Jason's not thinking of something or somebody else is.
I don't have to worry about if I'm making coffee, am I gonna grow an extra hand in my back?
Yeah, but, yeah,
Okay.
But-
I don't know what he does with it, but
yeah, but we also gotta be cautious of,
I'm more concerned about what happens
Yeah.
after the fact.
yeah, we just gotta be cautious of the conversations we have. And we're allowed to have a lot of conversations, just be mindful that
God bless you.
we shouldn't be in every conversation. And that's the reason why I really think that the villages need to pull together and do this as one action, not,
That might be a good idea.
yeah. Right now, the mayors I have talked to, everyone's on a different level as far as what they want, or what the concern is, or what their impact may be. One mayor thinks,
Interest to go with that.
yes,
Okay.
to protect the villages, so. All right. All right, anything else? Okay. But I do believe bringing Jonathan in to one of your meetings would be a good starting point for us for that conversation, because
Right.
Jonathan can educate us on, here's what I need you to do as an individual village, to provide to me to go to the state.
Well, we will be having a meeting, safety meeting in January.
Okay. I'll get with Jonathan, just see what times he,
Yeah, let's see if we can fit in and we'll try to make it fit his schedule.
okay,
It's not, yeah.
on the field to drain that out and connect to an existing storm line. No grants on the radar right now as far as like pursuing. We have a lot of feelers out there and getting paperwork in for some, like Bill's working on for safe routes to school, and then the planning one. My mind just went blank on that.
School travel plan?
Nap in my head, and I knew that wasn't it. So those are in the works too, but again, they're like in that beginning stages with just paperwork. We'll move on to maintenance report if there's no questions on grants. All right, Casey, you're up.
Maintenance, pretty much, a lot of it has just been getting ready for this Christmas. We did get everything winterized and stored back away in the barns that we've cleaned out and everything. But we've sealed just the other night, start. And that's why we're looking at the chem strap, because it gives us the ambient temperatures of the meter, where the meter's located. It gives us warnings if there would be a break and stuff like that. It's a lot better technology coming up. And there'll be more to follow on that once we get actual pricing and everything.
So those meters actually like what, send you a reading that it's getting
Yes,
too cold?
yes.
So it gets a reading every 3 hours?
Every 3 hours, you'll get an update from the meter, so they know their line, or they tell it, they haven't told us to turn off their water or something, so their water line could still freeze. It would actually send us a notification that we got a leak, we got a break, something like that.
That's good.
And that's what we're pushing towards. As you know, Tony and I, we don't look here, we try to look here when we're looking at stuff like this, to keep us in the running, to keep everything going. It also helps, now not only are they obsolete, but they're also out of date. So that's why we need to start looking at a new system.
At 10 years old, just because again, we're trying newer technology doesn't
Yes.
last long.
Right. And then that's why we're trying to push forward to go further ahead than what. We're not looking at the 25 meter, we're looking at the 100 meter target,
Mhm.
okay?
Yep.
Yeah. And that's all I got.
All right. Any questions for Casey? All right. Old business, the village purchase of property at 100 North Main Street. We did get confirmation. They accepted our written proposal of $60,000. They are in process of getting rid of the tenant over there and the items left behind. He didn't give me a date like when they're ready to do this, because again, I think they know they have some challenges over there trying to get rid of the current tenant. So just more to come. So I'm just going to table this kind of until they come back to us and say, hey, we're ready, and then we can go in and do that inspection and things like that.
We go in as a group.
Have to inspect the building. So we will probably need your expertise to kind of look at some things.
It's got glass, it's good.
What's that?
It's got glass and a dry roof,
Yeah,
we're good.
okay. And then also just have someone go through it. You know, again, it is the oldest building in Pleasantville that's left standing. So, I mean, it does have value, but it is old, so it's not a perfect thing. But again, we don't want to buy something that's ready to crumble. But, so at the end of the fiscal year, beginning of the new, Penny has to take the system down, put it back up, finish out the year. And that takes a couple of days of, you know, a lot of labor focusing on things. She usually tries to do it during normal business hours, which you have people coming in and out, things like that. We did close the office one day after Thanksgiving,
The day after Thanksgiving.
day after Thanksgiving, and you guys worked, right?
We did.
No, Veterans Day.
Yes.
You guys worked, but the office was closed. That was very successful. They were able to get caught up on things. So I thought maybe filing and all that, update the files, because again, we got to pull out all the old files, put in new, all that stuff, without the people coming in and out. Not that we can't do it, but it just takes a day job and turns it into a month job. So I kind of making a decision to approve that, but I want your guys' input on that, or if you guys think that's a good idea. Okay. And,
It's a good idea.
okay,
Give them a chance to catch up.
yeah. And we'll advertise that as the second being the holiday, then the third and the fourth are, in-office days for them that we're closed for fiscal year end activities.
And it isn't that we're going to, when the note we put on the door, we will tell people if they need something, just to call the office,
Mhm.
and then we'll get back with them.
Yeah.
And if they need to make a payment or do whatever, it's not that we're not gonna be like, not help people, but we're just gonna try to.
Limit the people like me that like to walk in and BS for,
Yes,
Yeah.
and Sam's having surgery, so she'll be limited, so. We
Just
just
turn the
need-
lights out.
Lights are
Maybe
always
they can
out.
drop the payments in the drop
Yeah.
box and make them online.
A lot
Yeah.
of people do that, so.
well, in the first couple business days, they're not busy with payments anyway. I mean, not,
Right.
so I think it's like a perfect time to shut down the office to do some stuff, so. All right, Resolution 1208-2201 is a resolution approving the addition of funds to the current 2022 budget year. So we had to increase items in streets and general and water, primarily for payroll, which was typical for this time of the year. With payroll, it's just not the payroll line, it's also your Medicaid line and your PERS line. So those were increased, and then also our supply lines. We have, so it's just upping those. I think each one of those lines a couple $1,000s a piece. I don't know if there's a total on there for what we're increasing it to or not, but like I said, it's just,
I think the general was about 11,000,
yeah.
and the other ones were about 4 or 5.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, this is, increasing our budget so we can pay out the cash. All right, do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Chad,
I'll second that.
Michelle, roll call.
President West,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamal,
So, and again, it's just adopting their policy and all that. So last time we had to use this is when that Del Reco came through Pleasantville. And it's just basically, we have a book here that tells us in this emergency, this is what we stand up, this is who we contact, this is who's in command, and this is who we follow. So do I have any, is there any questions on that? If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, second.
I'll second.
Chad, second.
President West,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamal,
Yes.
Councilman Mason, Councilman Muncy,
Yes.
Councilman Pangborn,
And last one is ordinance 1208-2201, an ordinance approving the 2023 fiscal year budget. Finance did review this. I don't believe there was any questions from finance on that. I will pull up the summary here for everyone to see. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this. So here's our proposed revenue for each account. Again, our accounts are general, street, highway, park and rec, police, permissive, coronavirus, water deposits, unclaimed monies, Walnut Creek Sewer District Fund, and Walnut Creek Sewer District Deposit Trust. This is our budgeted spending, again, for each one of those accounts, for a total of $809,019.78. Used to be a hodgepodge column itself. And this right here will give you our estimated carryover. So our estimated carryover is $22,000 for next year. And then again, this right here is, like, we just set up a verbal, we would like to carry over 10% of each account each year in a perfect world, and this is just kind of how we track it. Again, costs keep going up, so, you know, our goal keeps going down. But again, we are able to show some carryover for some of these accounts. Any questions?
President West,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamal,
Yes.
Councilman Mason, Councilman Muncy,
Yes.
Councilman Pangborn,
Yes.
Councilman Williams.
All right. Just want to bring up, I'm sorry. Just want to bring up the 2023 rental rates for the rentals, which is the shelter house, community center, and the pool. We did increase them last year. Again, this account is that one we just want to keep stable. And by these rates, I think we're staying stable. As you can see here, this impacts the park and rec. With these rates, we anticipate carrying over about $500. Again, at some point in the future, I think we might need to raise them, but right now, I think we just need to here. But if you guys are good, we'll carry over those rates into 2023. Any objections to that? Okay, so we'll go ahead and keep those the same. Again, the Santa Parade and Lunch is Saturday, December 10th. Parade begins at 11:30. Freedom Grill food truck will be here Saturday too in the parking lot. I think they're going to set up around 11 a.m. Toy drive for Pleasant Township Fire and the food drive for the Pleasantville Food Pantry, which is handled by the Methodist Church. So anyone that can come out or wants to come out that day, it'll be fun. Last thing that I have under new business, and I believe everyone has a copy of the email, working with the contractor to get some things fixed, but this is things that are outside of that fix. Where we build up the sidewalk and kind of trap some of the water over there. We agreed to install French drain, I guess is how to say it. Met with our engineers, things like that. Went to do the work. Somehow something got miscommunicated. We thought we had the approval for everything. He's saying he didn't give the approval. We don't have nothing in writing, so again, it's a, you know, my word against their type thing, and that's, you know, it's not worth arguing. Back with the things outlined on this email. Basically, the French drain we did put on his private property is too far in and needs to be closer to the right of way, to where the ponding happens. And the contractor put it over 3 foot further than what it was drawn for, so he wants it moved back. And then on our side of the right of way of the sidewalk, there was supposed to be a drain put in there, and the contractor omitted that by mistake. So we're going to have that installed. Which I have no problem with this, but the property owner of the town should fix. I mean, we shouldn't be causing flooding when I don't need a vote on it. I just need if you guys are against it or for it, basically, or discuss it.
I mean,
Okay, yeah,
It's gotta be fixed.
yep, and I figured that's what it was.
So we just have the attorney put something in writing?
No, we'll put it, our engineers put it in writing,
Okay.
and we'll just send the email over, but again, since I am putting something in writing, I wanna make sure you guys are aware of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And if we were supposed to have a drain for even us, we want that in there too.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
on the village side.
yeah, yeah, and again, it was,
Maybe I'm wrong?
so, oh, okay. No, increases go in April, so bonuses, we have the option of going to executive session, you have that option. So Penny, last year bonuses were 250 and 200, 250 for full-time, and this is net. And the question is, do we, one, want to give out bonuses for this year end? And do we want to say the same as last year or go higher?
I
Or
think
lower?
employees should put the bonuses back this year from last year.
All right, let's put that in the,
Can you catch, ready?
I know where he lives. We all do.
That's a good idea.
did you see Penny's face on that one?
I wasn't expecting them to say.
Well, it caught me off guard too.
Could you imagine why?
So discussion on that.
I feel like it should increase. I feel like we've been doing that amount.
Yeah,
It feels like for a minute.
Yeah, we
I
have.
don't know about the dollars, give them an extra hundred that we're talking about last
Okay, so it'd be 350 is the proposal and 300.
year. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on that? If not, do you want to make that into a form of a, so if you want to make the
I
motion?
don't know, you guys are finance.
That's how we would typically do it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's bump 'em.
Okay, so Jim's motion is for
Can I
full,
make this again? But like those numbers have
Let's
to
have a
come
bidding.
in, so I always think, like, so like, basically, we're saying 300 for part-time, and then full-time works double the hours. I actually think it shouldn't be just 50, I think it should be 300 and 400.
okay,
But I mean, you guys can, I
Okay.
just feel like it should be that, like a little bit more extra for the full-time,
okay.
just because.
But we work 30 hours. Part-time is 32 hours.
Oh, I thought you were full-time.
No, Penny and Sam are
We're
part-time.
considered part-time, but we work 32 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was part-time, and I always thought you were full-time.
No,
Yeah,
No.
about the same.
I did
no,
too, yeah.
no, our
I
part-time,
was actually thinking 200 for part-time and maybe 500 for full-time. But then I found out, just now, the same thing you found out, and I was taking that back.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they're not really 20, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, and we don't have to break it out part-time, full-time either. I just, this is,
Yeah,
so it's just whatever you guys want. Or 350, and for part-time, 300 is what's been proposed so far. And,
One second. You both are part-time? So Tony and Casey,
Is the full-time.
yeah,
how do you get me full-time?
that's how we hired them on.
I'm going by what I see.
Oh, well. No comment.
well, I kind of now know where the 50 is if they're 32 hours.
Yeah.
I was thinking they were, like, I was thinking part-time would be like 20.
No, no, it's 32.
I kind of let
Yeah.
down. I was thinking 20 to 40, if that makes sense.
Okay, so what is gonna be, I need a motion, is,
Just, scratch what I said and just go back to it. I'm sorry, I
Okay.
totally,
right, any further discussion on that? If not, do you wanna make that into a motion then?
Sure.
Okay, so, just to recap the motion, $350 net for full-time employees, $300 net for part-time employees for the year-end bonus.
Okay.
All right, and you're making the motion, right?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, okay.
all right, do I hear a second?
I'll make a second.
Michelle, second. Roll call?
President West?
Yes.
Councilman Dumont?
Yes.
Councilman Mason? Councilman Muncy?
Yes.
Councilman Pangborn?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
All right, motion passed. Thanks for bringing that up, because I did forget that. Chad, anything?
Anything here.
Hopefully you didn't have anything.
I'd
else.
rather, don't think.
That's okay, bring it up next month. Yeah.
Oh, Fairfield Union, you need to let them know that we got that check. We did get that
Oh, yeah.
check.
Oh, yeah, it was brought up in finance, but Fairfield Union did pay their water bill that wasn't delinquent, it was a missed billing thing, and they did pay us.
I got it yesterday,
Jimmy, Michelle, right?
so.
All right, Merry Christmas, everyone, and have fun. And we'll see you Saturday if you guys are free.
Yeah, we didn't have Bill here
Now,
during the first and second.
does-
meeting, did we?
Mia show up to basketball games with her TRO on?
We're still being